you're feeling kinda down, a bit of guns around you need a roll. Can I get a roll? Dressed up like a T-Rex with that perfect strut. All the people in the chat's just going nuts. You need a roll. Can I get a roll? If you're not feeling well, it's a nice surprise to get her off a bit to let memories lie. With those tiny little arms and the flowing tail. If you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself. Can I get a roll? You can get a roll. The object of the day to put a smile on your face. All the fans know how much he appreciates. You can get a roll. If you're just feeling like crap, all you have to do is ask. Beardo's got your back, and just like that, you get a roll. Can I get a roll? You can get a roll. With those tiny little arms and the flowing tail. If you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself. Can I get a roll? You can get a roll. If you're just feeling like crap, all you have to do is ask. Beardo's got your back, and just like that, you get a roll. Can I get a roll? You can get a roll.
Go because I love you so much. You're a sexy little kitten.
Help. Good evening, Beardos, Weirdos, Boils and Ghouls. We'd just like to thank Yvette Fielding and Nicolas Cage for playing us in there. I got so bored of editing bullshit ghost videos. I got a bit carried away. My bad. Ghost Rider, thank you for the $2. T2 for the wife hello, cut off Gene twerk. What? The fuck was that? That was Yvette Fielding flirting with me. The saucy minx. Hope everybody's doing well. How's the heat? As Justin was a little bit warm last night, but the temperature has rocketed somewhat since Justin's stream last night. So we got the Raro shirt with the pineapples on it. I didn't know the pineapples with something to do with swingers. Apparently, upside down pineapples or something. I'm gonna have to hold my arm up like that. I'm not a swinger. Just saying. We got called boring in our last video. You're real. It'll happen. It'll happen. Yeah, I went out the back today. I'd done some editing. I was like, Mr. Geek will be up soon, so we'll I'll go sit out the back for a bit. I think I fell asleep. Oh, the aircon is on. You can just see the little flap doing its thing there. It was warming up nicely last night. You can always tell how warm Justin's room is by the shade of red he gets through the through the live stream. Interesting. When he said he had the a lady from Northern Ireland on talking about Northern Ireland ghosts, and then she started the podcast like this. Get out my pub. She doesn't sound Irish. What's going on here? Great fun. Great forecast. Forecast? Sorry, I just read that. Great podcast yet again. And what a life that lady's lived, eh? In the suffragettes that I have heard of. Dad was in a famous band. It's escaped me now. Beardo, don't be rude about the flap. I'm not. So down Pineapple. Sun City, about 60 miles from me. Senior community. What? So much fun if you're in a hotel. Put pineapple stickers upside down on the occasional door. Oh, Ghost Rider with $5 to stop the cut-off jean twerk. I'll do it in my pants. It's going to get hotter this... Well, yeah, up to 30 degrees by the weekend. This weekend, we have got the in-laws coming around for a barbecue. We got the sister-in-law, or Mrs. Geek's sister, coming around for a barbecue. It'll be good. 35 today in work with the aircon. Bollocks to that. Get out my pub! How trash was Cardiff after Oasis took over the city? Listen, Wheels. No matter how much rubbish people dropped in Cardiff after Oasis had been there, it was still cleaner once them pair of scruffy, talentless wankers left. I fucking hate Oasis. The only person I know that hates Oasis more than me is my father-in-law. Can I please have a Negan? Of course you can. Oh, Achilles tendons. Oh, fuck.
Hot diggity, hot diggity, this kind of thing that just tickles my balls. Hot diggity, hot diggity, this kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
Hey, Tim, how you doing? Tim. Designer vagina. I can see it in there. How are the sweaty damp Kiwis? Lovely and cool, man. Lovely and cool. Air conditioning is on. Oasis are wankers, they are. How can you be so rich and look so poor? So, we're going to do this chatting thing for a bit. I'll do the participants in just a second. We're going to do the just chatting thing for half an hour, and then we're going to look at a video on the Pentrych UFO incident. Somehow, I had never ever heard of this, and it is so close to where I live, and even closer to where I grew up. I mean, one of the forests that's mentioned in there, I used to ride motorcycles in. Beardo, would you like an Oasis shirt? I'd rather boil my own fucking head whilst watching episodes of Really Haunted. That monitor... All the people right here, right now. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. There's more talent in the skin of my shit than that band. I'm sorry, they pissed me off. Most famous pub band in the world. Okay, so tonight we have Bristol Paranormal Hunters. Have you had any shit for that video yet? A. Wakefield, Al Rar, Amy and Ozzy, Andrew Hills, Angela, Ann Robinson, Anthony. I'm going to butcher that, so I'm just going to say Anthony. Antonia, Big Max Golf, Blast Right, Blue Sky Lissa, Boohoo, Bucky 1961, Calamity, Kathy, CRL, Cujo, Daniel Green, Dean Bailey, Deathstalker, Diane Quinney, Dorset Paranormal Investigators. Where the fuck have you been? Double K, Dream 13, Ghost Rider 33, Gillian Daniels, Haley, Highly Paranormal 406, Jennifer Taylor, Johan Drico Wesky, Jolene. Juanita George, Kramek, Chris Williams, Lynn68, Maps Awakening, Melvin Neumann, Mickey, Miss Kelly, Andrew Hills, thank you for the £2. Love the film Fire in the Sky. Great you. I watched that as a kid. It scared the shit out of me. True. Scared the shit out of me. Melvin Neumann, Mickey, Miss Kelly, Misty Knight. Misty Knight was a Marvel character. Monique D, Mrs. Bob the Beard, Hannah Connor, Mrs. Geek, Mystic Mimo, Nick Derrick, One Annalise, Paul Doling, Purple Ronnie, RJ, The Thing McCready, Roger Bowen. Sorry, Roger, I got your name wrong there. Sandra BPH UK, Sarah Dippy Dyson, Sarah McDonald, Sir Egbert Swizzlestick. I still love that name. Sparkle Catcher, Stephanie, yeah, you, Stephanie. Rebecca Keynes, thank you for the $2.99 in Australian dollars. Susan Hornby, the Dakani, Paranormal Monkey, Tim DV, Trekkie Turtle, Victoria Steele, Vic Samu, Wheels the OG, YouTube comment, and Brock Gibson, I think that says. The text is all fucking weird. What's that? So I don't know if you guys have heard of the Pentrych UFO incident. Radiohead, Sweet Pulp, the ones for me, they're better. I mean, Jarvis Cocker only got my respect because he mooned Michael Jackson. He struggles with reading. Yes, I do. I joined live to insults of Oasis, Jenny G. They are fucking shit. And the pair of them are a pair of gobshites. Yeah, mate, if you don't like Oasis, kick fucking head in. My arse is haunted. I changed my name to Rumpelstiltskin. Go for it. Corey Hurd, how are you doing? Pulp, I hated. they're more talented. I don't like Pulp's music, but they are far more talented than Oasis. All right, Phil. How you doing, Phil? Hope your back's on the mend. Gillian, hello. Was an episode of Unsolved Mysteries? Because then I've heard. I'm not sure. YouTube was doing the rabbit hole thing earlier. And do you know the lady that owns the haunted museum in West Wales? There was just her interviewing a Welsh lady, and I'm like, I know that accent. And the more she was talking, the more I was like, what? How have I never heard of this? Like, I'm Tim from Tim Darkvale. Have you ever heard of it? Considering I used to ride motorcycles in Smilog, I used to drink and work in Llantrisant and Talbot Green, I'm fucking shocked that I never heard of this. And it looks like it's a big, big deal. So, at around 1:30, I'll start playing the video. It's called the Pentrych UFO Incident. And a few people have suggested that I look at the Y files for the first one. So that's what we're going to do. Pulp was shite. I appreciate your input. Was she interviewing Kaz? Yes, Lee. Yes. Tim, you've heard of the incident? And a few things. I stopped the video I was watching because I didn't want to ruin too much for myself. Then I started looking at articles and stuff, and then I looked for the Welsh Assembly government. And there's so many conflicting things. Like, hey, there was an exercise, but then you've got to alert people, and then there was no exercise, and then the Royal Glamorgan Hospital putting out 3 different reports on an email. But then the email was denied, and it's like, well, how can you reference an email? Enter messages back. Oh, stream elements, I tried to fix you. Alright, let's time out the bot. 24-hour timeout for the bot. Tim, why the name changed from Darkvale? I know that. Didn't Wales have some crop circles too? Yes, probably pissheads. Probably me, my mates doing donuts on motorbikes. UK forces shot it down at Sligo Woods. The explosion was felt... Sligo Woods? Smilog. The explosion was felt in Llantrisant Hospital. And right, you work at security there that night and witnessed the firefight. Hey, Mortalist, I'd love to get you on for a conversation about that at some point. Because obviously the hospital sits opposite the old Caterpillar factory. I know the area so well. I mean, I predate the hospital. You got the Royal Glamorgan Hospital, and the whole tree line behind it is Smilog, which runs from Coedley Colliery all the way down to the bottom end of Talbot Green by all the factories there at the bottom and the old Glanley Hall Fire Service. I know the area so well. When 2016. 2016. Mulder's channel, thank you for the £2. Appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. What's more probable, aliens or ghosts? I'd say aliens are more probable, right? Now, I don't know a huge amount about UFOs and stuff, but I refuse to believe that in an infinite universe, we are it. And we are the smartest things out there, and we're the only sentient... Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. There's got to be better than this, right? Can't read like Superman. Jenny G, get a fucking shift on and learn to read quicker. The interesting UFO type cases are the high strangeness ones, cross between UFO alien encounters and hauntings. This thing is so weird because of the conflicting reports from the government, the police, the RAF, and the army. Just don't investigate as much, so it's not really Darkvale worthy. Fair. I knew that anyway. Beardo predates the Romans. Fucking coming from you, Dad, that's rich. Justin's had to put his fucking cataract ointment on because my shirt's too bright. Aliens exist, they know all about us because they talk to our ghosts. I had a conversation with Paul from Ghosts on Trent today. And it's a conversation I had with Kev Kerr months ago at Parameet. And it was about skepticism and cynicism. And I'm like, I'm not a cynic. I'm just not. I'm a I'm a skeptic. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm very skeptical. And cynical to me is, Joe, you get those people that are like 100%, there are ghosts, I've seen them, and there's UFOs and Bigfoot. You know, the people that are hardcore, it's all real. I think cynics are the same, but the polar opposite end of it, where they're like, none of it's real, don't be so stupid. Daniel Green, thank you for the £2. Mangled sheep carcasses in Wales ain't no UFO. I need a new body, like that movie Selfless. I haven't seen that. Dig the shirt, man. Where did you get it? I think Mama Geek or Mrs. Geek bought me this for my bit. I think Mama Geek bought this because it's got a dinosaur on it for the rarer. If aliens consider visiting or making contact with us, I really hope they don't check Twitter. Do you know what? I hope they don't check Twitter. I hope they don't check Twitch. I hope they stay away from the American president. And I hope they stay away from the UK Prime Minister. Creaky Blinder in the flat. I love Creaky Blinder's channel. Absolutely adore it. I get on with Creaky Blinder as well. I've had a few conversations with him. Really, really nice guy. Wouldn't make sense if we were alone in the universe. Absolutely not. And if you listen to Flat Earth, there can't be anything out there because the night sky is a fucking blanket with holes poked in it or some shit. Fucking weirdos. I was really haunted being visited by aliens. A number of times, Mulder. A number of times. He was writing binary on his wall and everything, and it actually made sense. Beardo, when you dye in your hair and your beard. I'm not that great. I am that great. The sides are worse. Hey, Beardo, what's this about a UFO? Right, so, I live in South Wales, and I grew up at the very bottom of the South Wales Rhondda Valleys. Barely the valleys. A Wakefield, thank you for the 20 months. Let's go. I appreciate you, my friend. So, Pentyrch is just outside of Cardiff, but it's probably is about 9 miles away from a place called Talbot Green and Llantrisant. And I worked security in those areas in a large supermarket for 13 years. I spent many a night in the hospital, the Royal Glamorgan. The Forest Smilog that apparently a UFO was shot down into, and it took out a fucking load of trees. And there's photos, not of the UFO or the UFO crashing, but the damage to the trees. And there's a lady called Kaz who had radiation poisoning to the point where it stripped the hair of his colour overnight. And apparently this is proven. Vixen Moo, thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate it. Proud to be a fellow weirdo with you, lovely lot. Anne Wilkerson, thank you for the £2. Hello to you. Sarah McDonald, thank you for the £10. Appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. So, I started watching a video, not by the channel we're going to look at in about 10 minutes. And I just couldn't believe this story was coming from an area I know so well. Like, I spent a lot of time drinking in Talbot Green, and I had friends up in Llantrisant. I played gigs up in Llantrisant and Talbot Green. I worked in a restaurant in Talbot Green. And I'm like, how have I never heard of this? But it was 2016, so I'd moved away by a lot. But I don't live that far away. And I'm just like, this is insane. So then, without watching more footage, I was looking for articles and research, and I was just like, the fuck? There was one bit that I thought was absolute bollocks about Llantrisant Common being a dumping ground for broken down cars, broken down fridges, basically people fly tipping metal there. I have never ever seen that in my life on Llantrisant Common. It's always been really clean, apart from when they used to have a festival on there. And one year the festival got shut down because they were underage drinking. That was me and my school friends. We were on the news throwing up. Kim Adriazzoni, thank you for the 11 months. This was just on the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Files is what I'm going to be reacting to. I think one of the theory's excuses was a military exercise and a helicopter went down. Surely they'd have to... As far as I know, for a military exercise in a public space where there's going to be noise and stuff, don't they have to alert the public? I think it's 5 days before. And nobody was alerted of anything. Can we get a wee before we start watching? Of course you can. Jennifer Taylor, thank you for the £2. Someone sneezed on. Hey, don't diss the shirt. I don't know, the whole thing, the police reports are conflicting, the Royal Glamorgan Hospital reports are conflicting, the Welsh Government website just says nothing happened. Well, clearly it did. There were military aeroplanes flying around in circles for 3 days before this event happened. It's mind-blowing, but a few people have said because I found it and I was like, wow, so close to home. And Wales has got a lot of things with UFOs. And I'm like, I want to do a video about it. I'd love to get in touch with Kaz to see if I could interview her at the locations, get the drone up and film in Smilog because I know the areas. I'd like to do all of that. I'd like to see her get... And then I'd like to see someone like Justin get involved in interviewing people involved in it and stuff. Because it's incredible. They've got their own YouTube channel. I'm not going to look at that tonight. Vito, can I get a rar? Yes, you can. Rar. Rar. Calamity, it's for you.
Oh, fuck off. Adorn me, Beardo. Fucking A! It's perfect!
There's no consistency in the reaction. Need landowner's permission and covered 5 different landowners. It's... I see a lot of stories like... Mulder's channel, thank you for the £2. I appreciate it. For example, you've got Skinwalker Ranch in America. The only weird thing they ever captured in Skinwalker Ranch in how many decades is Robbie Williams turning up smoking a cigarette in a documentary. Like, how the fuck did he get in there? What's this shit? There's never been anything that's ever piqued my interest. I've watched a lot about it, but I'm like, this is dog shit. Where's the... There's nothing that piques my interest, is the only way I can put it. And then this entire thing, and I don't know if it's just because it's local to me, but I'm like, what the fuck? We can have a possum Pete and a granny dumpling, of course you can. Where's Piss Off Ghost gone?
Piss off, Ghost!
RJ the Thing McCready. Love that. Thank you for the 5 gifted. I was more impressed with your name and the profile pic. Lee923, thank you for the 8 months. Watch Craig Charles documentary too. Tagged on Discord. Oh, legend. Vito's doing a UFO video for his bit. Not my birthday. Not my birthday. What about Seg and the Paranormal Files? I mean, he can do what he wants. It's his channel. It's not something I do. As most of you know, I'm not going to be saying anything out of turn here because everyone knows that Colin asked me to work with him and to meet him in the UK, and I said no. I'd meet him for a coffee, but I wouldn't work with him. I won't work with a faker. Ever. Happy unbirthday. Thank you, Megan. But other people can do what they want on their channels. I'm not any sort of authority figure on it. People can do what they want. It's not something I would ever do. But Seg is more comedy reaction than, like, he doesn't break down frames and analyze. I mean, I don't. I'm a reaction channel more than anything. You know what I mean? Villa Wolf, thank you for the 5 gifted. But yeah, me and Seg have got quite different channels. As many similarities as we've got a lot of differences as well. He's far more skeptical than I am. Beto, you wearing that shirt for a bet? No. I like it. Todd Morden, which isn't far from me, at a UFO hotspot, apparently. The thing is, Smilog Forest, I can access that whenever I want. It's literally 15 minutes on a bad day. I'm genuinely thinking of grabbing my old 2-man tent, taking it up into the forest and camping out there with a video camera, like, Where are they? Because there's still reports of weird lights and around that area, Broadhaven Triangle. Yeah, see, I watched that, and I watched the thing about the... Guys, don't start with the Twitch stuff. Don't start with the Twitch stuff, because we'll be reacting to a video soon, and if it ruins it, I can't mute them. Come on to the mods, check who's doing that in Twitch, please. And if we have to, time them out for an hour and a half. There has to be more than just us. I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Cherry Yabe? Sorry if I've got that name wrong. Thank you for the $4.99. I appreciate it. Love the shirt. I visited Todd Morden last week on UFO Watch. It's active a lot. Ooh. RF St. Athan is a stone's throw as the crow flies from Pentyrch. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I assume me and you, Tim, are quite close to each other in regards to the area we live in. John Boy, I'm doing a camping video with Fahab, one of the mods. We're going to, I'm not going to say where, we're going to some reportedly haunted woods. We're not taking a proper tent. We building a bivvy and a fire, and we'll record all of it. But I'm going to try and get another one in now in Smilog, I think. Beardo, how dare you ignore my birthday wish towards you? You're banned. You're fucking banned. Hello to the lovely Ouija Mama. How are you doing? Hello, Monique D. Take Casper Sight and Mr. Grey camping. I'm not sure I could camp with Casper Sight. He's a very energetic man. Very energetic. Him and Dandalf are both, you know, for men in their 40s, peak physical. They'll be like, right, we'll run up this hill with a tent, and they'll be gone. And I'll just be like, hang on, wait for me. I'm fat. Andrew Hills, thank you for the £2. What's it called again? Glamping. Glamping? That won't be glamping. UFO with a train spot on any day. Andrew Hills, absolutely. That'd be a good one to camp in those woods. Yeah, I mean, Smilog. I wonder if I can just get a quick... Smilog is an old forest with very, very tall trees. Not much light gets in there. It's a weird place when you drive through there. Weird looking. I don't know if it's the same as when I was a kid. But, like, the foliage starts quite high up. See, all of these are, like, brightened images. It doesn't really do it. Oh, this is, ooh. Smilog Forest. Man stumbles across UFO crash site down in the Devon Woods. The wrong fucking woods, idiots. I'll see if when I get there, because I am going to go there. I am going to go there, and I am going to camp out there this summer. But I need somebody to come with me to hold my hand. Right, where's my camera gone? Idiot. Am I facing the right way now? Yes, I am. So I am going... I can't just play this full 38 minutes and not say anything. Because copyright and fair usage and fairness. So we're going to check out this Y-Files. I've only ever watched a couple of Y-Files videos. And if I remember this right, he talks to a CGI goldfish. Ian and Beardo, looking forward to this about the UFOs. I've been fascinated about this and think there's something out there. Yeah, this specific case has just captured my imagination more than anything, I think. Let me turn that a bit. My imagination has been captured by it. Hey, Sir Feathers.
Military surveillance planes circled the Welsh village of Pentyrch for 3 days straight in February 2016.
Pentyrch. Could take Mythos lives too far away.
Never leaving, never landing, just circling. Local police fielded dozens of calls. Residents wanted answers about the planes. They wanted to know about the 3 days of weird lights in the sky. The police said it was probably RAF training, but they didn't know either.
And I hope he goes as far into this as just the little bits I've read where the police reports conflict with the RAF, with the army, with the police. It is so weird. Hey, Mama Geek. You love the Y-Files? I am becoming a big fan of them recently. It's the fish. The fish is so inappropriate.
Kaz Clark stood outside with her neighbor Dave on February 26th. They'd been watching the planes for days. Military aircraft don't circle villages without a reason. At 2:30 a.m., they got their answer. A black pyramid appeared in the sky, 30 stories tall. Within seconds, combat aircraft swarmed from every direction.
Wow. The best bit of this is there was a woman outside watching this happen. Now, we've only got her witness testimony, but still. You don't want to get probed unless it's for a serious health check. That's my fear. If your aliens are real, don't stick anything in my bum. I will shit all over you, little grey bastards. Maybe it was Vlad the Invader and the tit having a field trip.
The military wasn't surprised. They'd been waiting for it. The circling planes, the perfect timing. This was not a coincidence. This was an ambush.
Ooh. Hey, Great Aunt Idris? Iris, sorry, not Idris.
Yeah, human. I'm glad you're there. I finally figured out why I'm not catching any fish.
This is one of his really weird adverts, right? Pickles, chicken, what? Fishing clash. Right, we'll skip his advert. I wonder how much they pay him to do that. We need a CGI pet. El Skipper, thank you for the 24 months. Appreciate it, thank you. Yeah, he's normally got, and they're really long adverts. They must pay him a fortune for that much time.
The pyramid didn't descend through the night sky above Pentyrch. It emerged. Kaz Clark watched this massive object materialize point first, not coming down from above, pushing through from somewhere else. It reminded Kaz of a knife blade slicing through black paper. This thing was enormous, 1,000 feet long on each side, bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza,
Hey, Ryan.
hovering just above the tree line.
So, I'm not sure where the description of this UFO is coming from for his specific video. A CGI Possum Pete. Maybe we could do that so I could argue with Possum Pete in videos. Is this description that he's got come from Kaz? Because I'm sure the military are not going to say that. You can hardly hear him.
Objects this size make noise.
Baba.
Engines, rotors, something. Not this object. The pyramid was silent. Dave grabbed Kaz's arm. His hand was shaking. And the pyramid just hung there, tilted at an angle. Then it started moving. Not flying, swaying. Left, right, left again. Picture a pendulum the size of a skyscraper. Nothing that massive should move like that.
Audio is fine for you guys.
Dave started walking toward it. Kaz pulled him back. Whatever this was, they needed to keep their distance.
Yeah.
Right, so from what he's just said there, this is from Kaz's description. Now, what I've read about Kaz and what I've seen in little bits about Kaz is she had radiation poisoning. She passed 3 lie detector tests. And apparently she had people forcing her to shut the fuck up. This gets wild. I hope he goes in. He probably will. This guy seems to know his research, you know. Come to find out it was some dude tripping in the woods. Kaz was, I think she was in her 50s. It was her and her husband, but other people saw it, and other people saw the crash. One of them's in the chat. He worked at the Royal Glamorgan Hospital. It's wild.
Oh, you get too close, you're gonna get probed.
They ran to her back gate for a better view across the fields. The pyramid was maybe 200 feet up by now, and that's when the temperature dropped. Not gradually, instantly. 5 degrees Celsius in 3 seconds. Kaz could see her breath, Dave's too. She asked Dave if he felt it. He said, yeah, it was freezing.
Yeah, he's right. They really should warm up the probes before
It
they...
wasn't a...
That fish nearly made me spill my beer. This is so well written. Sorry, I'm a child. Hey, Possum Pete. You got some work to do. Cold February in Wales. It's always cold in February in Wales. Where apparently it dropped 5 degrees.
A probe.
Instantly.
Later, meteorological data would confirm it. The temperature dropped exactly 5 degrees Celsius, exactly when that pyramid appeared. February in Wales is cold, but this was different. Kaz said it felt like the cold wasn't coming from the air. She could feel it inside her body.
Yeah, still sounds like a probe.
Okay.
My goldfish is an asshole. 2016. This isn't an old story. Ah. That fish is the greatest thing on YouTube.
Okay, go easy with the probe, all right?
That's what she said. Yeah.
The pyramid
Goldfish. That's what she said. Ah. Whew. Warm that damn probe, man. Absolutely not. No. There were no camera phones working at the time because all cell phones were dead. A lot of houses reported losing power.
pyramid's underside lit up. 6 lights along one edge burned white hot. Now Kaz could see the surface clearly. The texture wasn't smooth like aircraft metal. It was rough, like it was carved from black stone. Then something shot out of the top. It was green and very bright. So bright, Kaz had to cover her eyes. The green object stopped midair, then started darting in random directions.
I was just about to see the lights coming out on one side and then a bright green light. Could that be what do they call it? Like drop zone markers. So the military will fire markers so parachuters know where they go in, but they are not gonna go horizontal and a green light shoot up. Be some shit if Beardo got abducted while camping. Don't probe me. I'm a sensitive lad.
It looked agitated. Lightning erupted from the pyramid's lower corner, but this wasn't weather lightning. The bolts looked heavy and thick. Each strike lasted 2 to 3 seconds, and they weren't firing randomly. They touched specific points in the field. The lightning acted like it was looking for something.
From what I read today, that area is still scorched. It hasn't grown back. Or you wait for the green and red barrels? What is the power being out? How do you think they use a cell phone to record a video? Apparently it knocked cell phones out. It knocked power out of houses. The hospital, the whole hospital apparently felt like this huge thud and an explosion.
4 C-17 transport planes roared in from the west, flying low, too low. These planes were 174 feet long, designed to carry tanks. They don't fly at chimney height, but here they were. 2 in front, wingtip to wingtip, and 2 more in back. The green object flashed at the planes. It wasn't attacked.
This is still all from her testimony, right? The government or nobody has acknowledged any of this, have they? I know they've said that there was a military operation in one sentence, and like a week later they say there was no... Basically, the residents complained. The residents complained because it was keeping them awake, and they said there was nothing keeping them awake, which is... I don't know. I don't like going down the conspiracy theory route, but... IP Freely, thank you for the £5. Stop laughing, Beard. Those aliens stole my sheep and I demand answers. You'll never get them.
Attacking, it was signaling, and the message was clear. Follow me. Then it shot west toward L'Entressant. The sea...
L'Entressant. L'Entressant. Not L'Entressant. L'Entressant. Welsh with Beardo. L'Entressant. Double L in Welsh is... And so is CH. Thank you for the £5.
17s banked hard and chased the light. And the pyramid, it started fading away, not flying away, becoming transparent. But before the pyramid vanished, dozens of objects launched into the sky. Red barrel-shaped objects spreading across the field. 2 barrels stopped and rotated slowly until they were facing Kaz and Dave. Then, the objects charged.
This is called the Pentrych UFO incident, hiding the evidence of a human-alien combat. How wild is this? This is fucking insane. But there's so many people have come forward that saw the same thing. But I'd never heard of it. And I don't know how I'd never heard of it. Now, about 20 years ago, there was an incident in a place called Pentyrch where UFOs were seen. People were filming it on their phone. I can't find the footage of that. Kaz and Dave. No, Kaz and Dave. Hello? It's a very loud shirt, and I'm proud of it.
The red barrels stopped 30 feet away from Kaz and Dave, one in front of each of them, just hovering there, watching. And Kaz couldn't move, and she wasn't frozen with fear.
Jess, you know this lady Kaz, don't you? Did you message me or comment earlier to say that you've met this lady and been to some of her talks?
She literally couldn't move her legs. Something was holding her in place. Dave stood next to her, also stuck. They could move their eyes, but nothing else. And the paralysis wasn't just physical. When the barrels first approached, Kaz tried to film them, but her phone was dead. Not low battery, completely dead. The barrel on the left drifted closer, 20 feet, then 10. Now Kaz could see through it. The object was made of something translucent, like red glass.
We are watching the Pentrych UFO incident, hiding the evidence of human-alien combat. And it's by the Y-Files. And somebody's just mentioned up there the channel that I started watching. I turned it off because I didn't want to ruin it for myself. Paranormal Scholar. That's what got me into this today. And I turned it off. I don't want to ruin it. I want to watch it with you guys. And maybe we'll do the Paranormal Scholar next week if you guys are interested in this thing. Lee Broders, thanks for the £2. How do I send you a direct message? If you look into my channel description, there's an email address or there is a Facebook page. But don't get scared. If you message that, the messages will only get through to me or Mrs. Geek. Unless it's about Ring doorbell footage. Beto, where did you get that shirt? Mama Geek bought it for me, I think. Been to 5 or 6 meetups with her, feeling everyone about the incident. Oh, I wonder how many people... I wonder if she'd speak to me about it.
And inside, thousands of tiny points.
I've watched Skinwalker Ranch, Heath. It was a pile of shit. It did not hold my attention. Filming there for 20 years and they got nothing. Nothing. What's that? That's a fucking bug on your lens.
Of light swirled around like static from an old TV. But the static wasn't random. The specks were mixing and reforming into patterns. The thing looked a lot.
You don't believe the story at all. It's so much in detail. Lynn, I see where you're coming from, but it's the conflicting stuff from the RAF, the police, the hospital. There's so much weird stuff after the fact that it's absolutely enthralled me. The Pentyrch incident, if it was 1979, that might be it, which is a lot longer than 20 years ago.
Live. The barrel on the right just swapped.
No, there was one about... I remember people having video footage of this thing over the old coal mine in Pentyrch. I remember seeing people with videos on their phone, because me and my mate were in the pub and missed the entire thing. But there was a triangular-shaped object with lights on it. Everyone was out on the doorsteps filming it, and I've never been able to find footage of it since.
Watched. Kaz felt it studying them. She was terrified, but there was nothing she could do. Then the closer barrel changed from red to green instantly, like someone flipped a switch.
They're traffic lights. Debunked.
Green light washed over them. It felt warm and tingly. The light went through her skin, through muscle, through bone. The sensation lasted maybe 30 seconds, though time felt strange, like everything was in slow motion. When the green light faded, Kaz felt different. Her fear was gone. She felt energized and alert.
2016, Jenny G. So 9 years ago. But the fact that she passed 3 separate lie detector tests and she had radiation poisoning has absolutely blown my mind. Absolutely blown my mind.
And she had this overwhelming need to talk about what happened. Then both barrels started to slowly back away. They rose higher and drifted west over the rooftops toward L'Entressant. Kaz flexed her fingers. Dave
Clan Trisant. Clan Trisant.
shook his head like he was clearing water from his ears. They could move again. But the green barrel had left something behind. Years later, Kaz learned her nervous system was generating a constant electric signal, a repeating pattern that shouldn't exist in human biology. The signal would spike and change, like her body was transmitting data. Meanwhile, calls flooded the Cardiff police station. Lights in the sky, military aircraft everywhere.
Now, if you look online, there are transcripts available for these calls. There were a lot of them, which, again, I'm not saying I'm 100% this happened, but doesn't it add a bit more credibility than me saying, I heard somebody say hello in a haunted house?
Everywhere. Planes were flying so low, houses were...
Junga Heat, I lived in Canton at the time, and I remember the mad helicopter stuff. See, there's people in the chat that remember this. If anyone in the chat remembers this at all, and you want to send me an email over or a Facebook message, please feel free, because I'd love to start speaking to people about it and putting my own thing together. Cardiff police statement was oh boy oh. No, that'd be the Rhondda Valley's Pontypridd police station would be oh boy oh. For some reason, everyone in Cardiff is starting to sound scouse.
were shaking like there was an earthquake. Furniture was knocked over, pictures falling off walls. By 3 a.m., the police were overwhelmed, and they had no answers. But the planes kept coming. And then came the helicopters. Lots of them. Apache gunships roared over Pentyrch in pyramid formation.
Apache helicopters? In fucking Wales? How can this be anything other than a UFO or a massive counter-terrorist training exercise? But they have to give notice. They've got to give 5 days notice, and nobody got any notice. It sounds like a dream she had. Lynn, just her thoughts on it, yes. So many people have seen so much to do with this.
Attack helicopters armed with Hellfire missiles. They swept the field, but the objects were gone. Then they turned hard toward L'Entressant, following the same path as the barrels. More combat helicopters arrived. Chinooks from the west, Puma Lynx and Merlins from the north. The sky filled with military aircraft, all heading in the same direction. Dave and Kaz wanted to follow, but the Welsh countryside in winter is pitch black. No streetlights, no moon through the clouds.
This
they
is
couldn't
some
see
serious
anything.
shit.
They'd have to wait for daylight. When Kaz got home,
Flying logs show all of those planes and helicopters. Martin Weller, thank you for the 26 months. Thank you for the great content. Thank you for watching. This isn't my great content. This is somebody else's great content on a story that I have rabbit hole today, and I'm so into it for whichever side of it is the truth, you know?
she felt strange, disoriented. She checked the clock, 3:50 a.m. But that couldn't be right. They were outside for no longer than 15 minutes, but somehow an hour and 20 minutes had disappeared.
Llantrissant, not Llantrissant. But do you know if any photos or videos? Apparently, nothing photograph-wise, because wherever this craft went, electrics were affected. Which, obviously, leads into the skeptical side. Like, how come nobody got any footage of this? But you can look, as Jess has just said, you can look online, and all of these air vehicles were in that area. In South Wales, I mean, yeah, we got an RAF base, but it's barely working now. I live on the other side of Caerphilly, and I vaguely remember something about this. See, I don't remember anything about this. Steve Dodsley, thank you for the £2. Maybe I've had the Men in Black flashy thing in my eyes, and I remember it, but I don't.
Weird. Kaz caught her reflection in the window. Something was different.
Is this actually true? It's somebody's account of what happened, and they passed 3 lie detector tests. Ponty Pandy.
She leaned closer. A single strand of her hair had turned white.
Blow your channel. Get a one-on-one. Screw this mod. Right, Heath. There's a way to behave in a stream with all of these people, alright? And I'm going to go at the mods because they don't want you... Right, I saw your comment earlier, this guy sounds gay. If you think gay is an insult, then you can do the same as many other people this week and get the fuck off my channel. Goodbye. You've just been banned. Don't be so fucking rude to my moderators.
At 4:21 a.m., 2 explosions shook Pentyrch. The first one was an airburst.
Pentyrch.
Witnesses said it sounded like thunder, but sharper. The second explosion was different.
Kaylee J, I'd love to speak with Kaz about this. I'd love to. I think I've got an email address. I'm going to email her and then see if there's a way she's willing to speak about it. Can lie detectors be trusted? No. I don't think so. There's a reason the UK don't usually use them. Can hundreds of thousands of people be wrong about what they've seen? They can be. But I don't know, there's just too much to this. Yeah, that guy was picking away earlier on, and I ignored it to see how he'd play out.
A ground impact somewhere along Smilog Woods shook every house in the village.
Hey,
At the
that's
local
Smilog.
hospital, patients thought a bomb had gone off. The explosions registered on seismographs 40 miles away. But something else happened that night that was...
There's proof of the explosion. Is that what he just said? Sorry, I was half looking at chat and I kind of missed that. Did he just say...
off. The explosions registered on seismographs 40 miles away. But something else happened that night that was more frightening to parents than the explosions. Their children couldn't wake up.
So in Smilog Woods, there was an explosion. The trees were damaged. The tree damage is still there. The hospital sent out emails about it, then retracted the emails. And 40 miles away, seismometers picked it up. But it was just aircraft flying about.
Kids in the area slept through all this noise. Explosions, planes, helicopters, sirens. One mother told investigators this was the first time in 10 years.
Can lie detectors be manipulated? Yes. There was a trick. I don't know how old the trick is and how things have progressed, but there used to be a trick where people would put a drawing pin in their shoe and they'd basically stab their toe into the drawing pin for questions and it would throw the lie detector test off. In the UK, we don't necessarily use lie detector tests unless you're on one of those shitty TV shows. But, in America, I think people have gone to prison over lie detector results, right? I don't believe them myself. But she passed 3 of them. She had radiation poisoning. The explosion was felt for 40 miles. I'm still not saying I 100% believe that this was a UFO, but this is fucking weird. And if nothing else, it has absolutely captured my imagination. Absolutely.
Years her kids didn't wake up in the middle of the night. The next morning, Kaz's hair had turned white. Not just that single strand, and not gray, white. Yesterday she had dark hair, now she looked 10 years older.
See, I read she had salt and pepper hair, and then the next day her hair was white. And apparently that is a proven fact. But her hair has now gone salt and pepper again. How? Unless she bleached the hair, dyed it white. Clenching your ass cheeks together. I've heard that as well, Wayne.
Kaz, Dave, and another neighbor, Steve, went to check the field where the pyramid appeared. They expected to find the ground burned from the lightning strikes. Everything looked wrong. The grass was brown. The bushes were dead. Everything that had been under the pyramid's path was drained of life. Not burned, not broken, just dead.
And apparently that area still looks like that. Now, you can dismiss the lie detector test. I would. But her story and then this area where everything's not burnt or scorched, just dead. And still dead, from what I read today. That could be bullshit. I'll find out because I'll go there. But could radiation have taken the colour of her hair temporarily? I don't know. Possibly because she had radiation poisoning. But you'd have to check the Y-Files first comments to the video. There's a few people who knew Kaz time who collaborate the details. I'll definitely have a look. Do you have direct evidence of this? James, I literally saw this today. Didn't see this video today. I saw a video start about this today, immediately turned it off, and then started researching it from reading. And then I didn't go down Kaz's route. I went down the route of looking at police calls. What else did I look at? The hospital emails that were there and then disappeared, and the Welsh Assembly government saying that there was nothing in the skies that night or the 3 nights prior at all. Yet there were. It's provable that there were. I just find it absolutely fantastic. I've got a completely open mind to this. I was going to ask if you could visit the location. I know exactly where Smilog is. I know exactly where this crash was in Smilog. I know Pentyrch quite well, and I know Lantris and Common very, very well.
The trees along the edge of the field were dry and lifeless, but only the side that faced the pyramid. The rest of each tree, even branches on the same trunk, were...
That's not a real picture, right? That's CGI or something. MOD letter saying there was a military exercise at the time. Yeah, but there was the police denied there was a military exercise. And that many at that time of night with no... You've got to tell the public. You can't fly that amount over public without them being aware of it beforehand. As somebody said earlier, maybe the notice didn't get sent. It was a mistake, but I don't know.
Perfectly healthy. But things got stranger. Snow was falling, but only there, only in the dead zone. And this wasn't normal snow. The flakes were tiny, spongy pellets, and they didn't melt when you touched them. They just dissolved into nothing. They hopped in their car and drove west toward L'Entresant Common, following the path of the objects and the aircraft. For years, locals had dumped old appliances in the common. It became like a giant junkyard. Washing machines...
Now, see, this I find very, very hard to believe. I haven't been on Lantris Common in the last decade, but I have spent a lot of time on Lantris Common from a young child, probably up until about 10 years ago, because it's a beautiful area. I have never, ever heard of it being a dumping ground like this. You'll get the odd burnt-out car up there on a Thursday or Friday, but it's gone by the Monday. All of this stuff, Philanthropist and Common, just doesn't make any sense to me.
Bike frames, car parts, they were scattered all over the common. But not today. Now everything was stacked in neat piles along the side of the road. Someone had searched, sorted, and organized all the metal in the area. Yellow crime scene tape hung from the bushes, but there was no pattern to it, no perimeter, just random strips fluttering in the wind. A dog walker told them he'd been out at 4:30 that morning. He saw military helicopters landing. Troops jumped out with metal detectors. They were searching for something that crashed in Smilog Woods. So that's where they headed next. They found...
Now, I don't think anything he's used are pictures from this time period. But I'm sure that I read there are pictures of the military camping out. There's pictures of the uniform tents and stuff. I think there's pictures of the land that was dead as well.
Found the impact site in minutes. 6 trees, each 60 feet tall, snapped in half. Not at the base, 20 feet up where the trunks were 12 inches thick. All 6 breaks formed a perfect line pointing back toward Pentyrch. Trees don't snap like that. Not from wind, not from aircraft. Whatever hit those trees had been moving fast. Really fast. Faster than anything that exists on Earth.
Sounds so much like a nuclear attack. I wonder if a missile test went wrong. Wouldn't she be dead? But you could check on Google Earth if the land is still dead. True. I think I want to keep that for a separate video, though. I actually want to go there. Again, no actual picture shown, even of the aftermath. Slime with glasses. As far as I know, there are pictures of the aftermath and the military being there. There are pics. Not on this channel, by the look of it. I bet Paranormal Scholar shows the pictures. I bet she does.
Immediately, all public areas were closed. Multiple highways were shut down, including the M4 motorway. The official reason was a truck overturned.
Sent you a link on your Twitch. Can you inbox on Twitch? Annalise. But if an aeroplane with some sort of bomb on it hit the trees and blown up and caused all that damage, where's the airplane wreckage? I mean, surely they'd have cleaned it up, I guess, yeah.
Locals didn't buy it. You don't close half of South Wales for one truck accident.
See, that you don't close half of South Wales because of a truck accident. Yes, you do. The only motorway, or if you're in America, highway in Wales, is the M4. It's one 3-laned motorway. In some places 4 lanes, other places only 2 lanes. It's a very busy yet very small, width-wise motorway where all of the traffic for South Wales piles through. So if there's an accident on one side, everything is stopped. Absolutely everything.
A camp appeared overnight in the fields behind...
Oh, there we go. Actual photos. He's got actual photos. Please tell me he's got more than just the campsite.
Kaz's house. Perfect rows of civilian tents. Too perfect. As Kaz would say later, you could take the man out of the army, but you can't take the army out of the man. Steve, Dave, and Donna, another friend, went with Kaz to investigate.
Have I looked at the Tom DeLonge theories? Isn't Tom DeLonge... Where are you? I'm so sorry. Isn't that Tom DeLonge?
The men at the camp were clearly military. They weren't wearing uniforms, but they were heavily armed. They said they were conducting a fracking survey. That was the wrong cover story. Fracking wasn't allowed in that part of Wales.
How dare you!
Later, they switched stories. Now they were from Vodafone, a large phone company.
How'd you go from fracking to Vodafone? Ooh, this is interesting. Someone must have had a camcorder. I would agree, John Boy, but apparently power was affected.
They were checking cell tower locations. But why does a phone company have men in white forensic suits crawling on their hands and knees in the woods? And why does a phone company have employees in hazmat gear carrying assault rifles?
Have you seen their cancellation fees?
The surveyors acted strange. Every time someone walked past, the hazmat workers would stop what they were doing and stand up. They just stand there and stare at you until you were out of sight.
Now, see, that to me sounds like the RAF fucked up and they're trying to hide that fuck up. But when you put it all together, weird. I wonder how many people report seeing the UFO, or was that just Kaz?
As Kaz and her friends circled the area, they heard shouting. 3 teams with electronic equipment and laptops were walking through the woods. Someone kept saying, "Find it, find it, find it now." Meanwhile, more witnesses were coming forward. Jacob Coleman had seen the green object near L'Entressant in a standoff with Apache helicopters. He said the green light didn't move.
Right, so there are other eyewitnesses. The green light. I don't know anything about nuclear explosions. Could a nuclear explosion have caused that green light?
Like a machine. It moved like it was
This
alive.
info's way to cover up an
A
accident.
family in Cowbridge photographed barrel-shaped objects flying over their house at 2:33 a.m. The metadata proved it.
Wait. Was that actual photographs? See, that doesn't say actual photographs there, does it? Oh, I wish he'd marked up what was AI and what was original.
Their house at 2:33 a.m. The metadata proved it. Same night, same time as Pentyrch. The barrels were heading west, being chased by military aircraft towards Smilog Woods. Smilog Woods is a public area. It can't be closed without permission. But now the whole area was locked down and patrolled. Witnesses had been camping in Smilog Woods. They saw an object crash. Those witnesses were assaulted, illegally detained, illegally searched,
What?
and
I didn't hear about
forcibly
that.
removed by armed military personnel. Their phones were taken and wiped.
I didn't hear nothing about that. It's interesting, right? I know it's not much, but it's something wherever I can help with. Hey, Wendy Whittington, thank you very, very much for the $10. Listen, that $10 means a lot. Trust me, thank you very, very much. Have you seen Chanelaria and iPlayer? Yes, I've seen the Broadhaven, and apparently they've just announced she's doing another UFO Welsh-based incident. I wonder if it's this. Because this is wild. I have to call bullshit, seems way over the top. It does seem way over the top, but there's so much to it. I'm not saying that this is real. I'm saying it has absolutely captured my attention, and I want to look so much further into this. Jan R, thank you for the £5. Loving this. Thank you, Beardo. Once we've ended, I'll do a little take of what people want, and then maybe next Tuesday we can look at Paranormal Scholar. But in the meantime, I'm gonna keep researching. I want to make episodes on this, but I don't want it to be fluff and bullshit. I want to speak to Kaz. I want to speak to other people that were involved in it, but I'm not a journalist. I don't really know what I'm doing. But I'm sure I can get some help. I've got friends in the media. They write for like music magazines and stuff, but I'm sure I can find something. Simon Colby, are you still talking about Joe Rogan? I only ever listen to Joe Rogan for comedy. I mean, the guy is so far off where he started. I don't think this is all bullshit, it's exaggerated. I mean, the helicopters and the aeroplanes were there, and it was denied that they were there. Got some research somewhere, not speaking to them, so I'll drop you an email. Brilliant. Thank you.
One witness drove through chunks of crystal scattered.
Sounds like somebody was experimenting with nukes. See, and if you don't know South Wales at all, Pentyrch to Llantrisant and Smilog. I mean, Smilog and Llantrisant are very close together. They almost back onto each other. Pentyrch is the furthest point, and that's 9 miles away. If a nuke had gone off in Smilog, you would have said goodbye to Smilog, Coedili, Tonrevel, Gilfach Goch, Talbot Green, Llantrisant, Pontyclean, potentially Bather. If that was a nuclear explosion, it's a small area. I mean, if somebody's from the States and you want to look at how small South Wales is compared to Texas, you know, a state is probably bigger than my country. I mean, Mid Glamorgan is where all of this takes place, and it's very north of South Glamorgan for Pentyrch. That area isn't very big at all. Half of South Wales would have gone. Yeah. Everleigh Surf, nobody would miss that. You mean Rough Bather?
Across a road, red and white crystal. It was like broken glass, but heavier and thicker. The debris field from one of the destroyed barrels. At Cardiff Airport, an Apache helicopter made an emergency landing with its cockpit on fire. The official story was a mechanical failure. It had taken off from St. Athan Air Force Base at 4:24 a.m., just 3 minutes after the explosion. It made multiple trips to the crash site that night, transporting something. And whatever they recovered, someone important wanted to see it. A BAE 146 jet with the call sign Kitty Hawk landed at dawn.
Isn't that the Prime Minister's plane? If it's tactical nuke, it wouldn't be Armageddon you see in the movies. Yeah, but if that bomb had gone off in Smilog... Right, let me choose my screen for a second, because I'm not sure. Hello? I'll show you the area that you're looking at here. That forest isn't that big. Let's open up Google Earth. Right, so Smilog Fort, right, so... Smilog Forest isn't all of this area around here. It's just this bit back there. And then you've got... Oh, no, actually, I was looking at that wrong then. So you've got the Royal Mint, Coedili, so Smilog Forest ends there. You've got the hospital there, and there's a lane somewhere there that comes out. No, that's Llanarran. Talbot Green. There used to be a lane there. I think they closed that off because the fire service headquarters used to be there, but now it's a housing estate. But if a nuke had gone off in these woods, surely that hospital would have got hit by something. It depends where in the woods, I guess. But Coedili is very, very close to it. This bypass goes up to Thomastown. Nobody would be gutted if that went. Hendreforgan, Gilfach, Evanstown. All of this area I know very, very well. Bather, Llantrisant, Talbot. This is a very small area. Right, where is Pentyrch? It'll be Radaway? Pentyrch there. So that's that distance there. From the hospital to Pentyrch, that's 9 miles. Look how close that hospital is and the Royal Mint. That's a big industrial estate. Or big for the valleys, you know? Look how close that hospital is to that forest. Hey, is that the dead area? if a nuke had gone off there, surely the minimum, the hospital, the Caterpillar factory, gone, right? Never did anything about it. Neither did I, which is insane, right? Tactical nuke could be 1 kiloton. Yeah, but 1 kiloton would have taken the hospital, surely. I don't know enough about it. I honestly don't. This is why I'm playing this for the first time with you guys, because how come this wasn't all over the news? It may have been, because in 2016, yeah, I lived a very different life. I don't know how I never heard this, but loads of people in the chat have. People were working at the time. Radiation fallout. Mama Geek, have you ever heard of any of this? Weird. I think I was living here then, right? Yeah, I was definitely living here then.
And left an hour later. This plane only flies VIPs like the Prime Minister and the royal family. The next morning, the military had an explanation ready. This was all part of Exercise Chameleon.
A chameleon is a type of lizard.
Chameleon was just a routine training
fish
drill.
freak me out.
That's what they told the few reporters who asked. Just a war game, nothing really to see here. But you don't fly C-17s over a residential area in the middle of the night. You don't fly 24 helicopters around a hospital. You don't explode ordnance so large it registers on the Richter scale. And you don't have Apache helicopters.
But now, the seismologist that tracked that, the reason it tracked 40 miles away is because that was the closest one. The closest one. 40 miles away, that explosion registered. It's weird, right? Really weird.
Helicopters making emergency landings with their cockpits on fire during routine drills. Exercise Chameleon didn't make sense.
Human. They are saying the quiet part out loud.
Human.
They are literally telling us it's lizard people.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
Me or Mama Geek didn't hear about this. It's weird, right? Papa Geek, I only called you your real name then. How didn't we hear about this? Yet so many others have.
Please stop that.
What? Was that bad?
I'm begging you.
Fine, I'm sorry.
There's a site called Nuke Map where you can just click nukes to see what would happen. I don't know if I want to click that. Where does it look like a bomb? If it's a tactical nuke, maybe not. But that hospital is way too close. Way too close.
I take it back.
NATO reconnaissance aircraft had been circling overhead during the entire
So see, the whole thing with the nuke going off... Lantris and Tonra, right, the nuke would have gone off around there if it was a nuke. If it was a comet, it would have hit there. Or some... There's nothing there to explode. So if there's something there has exploded, then how come the same night, all the way down around here near Rada, all the way down there, somebody reports seeing something, an aircraft chasing it, and then all of this area reports aircraft chasing. It's definitely something I want to research
An
more.
E3 Sentry
And
Command
if anyone
aircraft,
wants to help
the
me,
kind that
please.
coordinates combat operations. Those planes cost $270 million and can track over 250 fast-moving targets
It says so, but it raises the question why she was the only one in the area if it was a nuke that... But she... Well, Annalise, she wasn't near the explosion. She was at the original sighting of what she claims to be a UFO. She was 9 miles away, and she is the only one with radiation poisoning.
simultaneously.
Sharel, something like this, yeah, absolutely. If you want to help me, please. Please. But I need to speak to local people or people that know people and... Strange. The fella should have got a dose as well. Yeah, but the fella wasn't hit with the beam. Yeah, I'm not playing this now to tell you I 100% believe in it or disbelieve in it. It just interested me, and I think this could warrant like a long-term project for me, the mods, you guys, we could all get involved in this because there's people in the chat that remember it. People in the chat that remember the hospital shaking, which is wow.
From 250 miles away. The surveillance planes had civilian transponders, private security registration.
Purple Ronnie, it did make the news and was retracted before printing. And the South Wales Mirror, I believe, the lady that was first on scene, the lady that wrote the article, or was writing the article, was suddenly out of a job and now works in the Royal Glamorgan Hospital as a data analyst.
The military was hiding their own aircraft from radar. They didn't want a record of what they were hunting. One plane stood out, the Hawker Beechcraft's Shadow R1, call sign Snake 48. That plane was decommissioned in 2012, but in 2014, it came back after a top-secret refit. For 2 years, nobody knew where it was or what modifications it received. Now, it was here, flying search patterns over Pentyrch. They knew something was coming, and whatever they added to that plane, it was designed to find it. Kaz started documenting everything, taking photos of the camp.
This is where it gets really fucking
registration
wild.
Numbers of unmarked vehicles, asking questions, simple ones at first. What military exercise? Why weren't residents warned? The military of defense had a simple answer. There was no exercise. But that made no sense. Wales Online posted at 3:39 a.m. that night saying they were covering the incident, but no story ever appeared. No press briefing ever happened. The media went silent. Kaz filed Freedom of Information requests.
I've seen these.
Governments don't like these requests. They delay, they deny, they claim national security. Kaz didn't care. At first, the MOD denied any military presence in Pentyrch.
Hey, happy birthday, Jet. Happy birthday. Beto, you just said they use civilian transponders in those planes to cover it up. If they did, those flight paths are publicly available online. They are, and you can find them online.
Then they admitted it, but claimed Section 26, National Defense. They said they didn't need permission for residents to conduct the exercise.
They do.
Wrong.
5 days
the
prior.
The Defense Infrastructure Organization requires written permission for all exercises on private land, 21 days in advance from...
Oh, 21 days. I thought it was 5 days.
Every landowner, but nobody was informed or consented. Natural Resources Wales owns Smilog Woods, the location of the crash site. They gave no permission for military activity, no permission to close public paths, and definitely no permission to set off explosives. They wrote, this type of activity would have required permission. If it had occurred, we'd have a record. The hospital changed their story 3 times. First, they said no one warned them about the military exercise. Explosions shook patients awake in their beds, but they received no advance notice. Then they said the South Wales police warned them about a counter-terrorism exercise. The hospital apologized for their previous response, stating that new information had come to light.
Yeah, certain things have come to light and,
I used to get 7 days. I thought it was 5 days. 5 landowners. Right. I expect you to say happy birthday. Why wouldn't they? This is seriously... Yeah, I'm not saying that I believe it's a UFO. I am not saying I believe it's a military training exercise gone wrong. But how weird is it that a woman spots a UFO and aircraft chasing it, and then 9 miles away, there's some form of crash and a gunfight where a helicopter is sent back to the RAF base on fire, and then hospitals are lying and newspapers are retracting reports and... Hey, am I going to end up with black cars pulling up outside my house? Guys getting out in black suits like, shut the fuck up. Guys, if I do, you'll know all about it. I'll never be quiet. You'll never silence me.
XK9,
thank you for the 3 months.
Instead of, running around...
Thank you, XK9.
And blaming me, given the nature of all this new stuff, you know, this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it's not just, it might not be just.
RAF St. Athan. RAF St. Athan. Definitely a cover-up. Definitely a cover-up. But of what? Of what?
Simple, you know?
The hospital even provided an excerpt from an email about exercise.
Hey, Men in Black, if you are watching, just saying, when I said if an alien tries to probe me, I'll shit all over them, I'll shit on you as well. You'll have poo everywhere.
Is running from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. on February 25th and 26th. When investigator Gary Jones asked for proof, the hospital said they didn't.
I've read about him. He's done a lot of interviews with people. If it happens, Beardo, we avenge you. Hey, there's... How many people are in chat right now? You're my witnesses. If I disappear, it's because I started looking into UFOs. I'm going to end up like one of those fucking nutters on America. I'm going to be wearing tie-dye t-shirts. I'm going to be sat on the news. It's a real, bro. The real. They broke my ass. I don't know why I turned American. Oh, no. This is going to be where I finally lose the plot. Dean Bailey, thank you for the £5. Beaters has me hooked. If you want, I can go there with you. It's an idea, Dean. It's an idea. Beato's weapon of choice, poo. Can I have a PC, Beato? You'd have to fight my daughter for it. I think you'd lose. You sound like Henry Zebrowski. Who's he? I don't normally watch UFO stuff because I normally end up rolling my eyes and sniggering at it. But this is 580 people in the chat. Like 580 witnesses. You can't silence us all.
Have the email. So how do you quote from an email that you don't have?
Oh, maybe the email was on Hillary's server.
Wait, what's our rule?
We don't joke about the Clintons. You're right. Go ahead.
So, Kaz contacted the South Wales Police 11 times.
Like the guy in the mountain in Independence Day. And I'm thinking more Woody Harrelson. There you go. Woody Harrelson, 2012. Dark Carney, absolutely. That's my future. That is my future.
Kaz asked if they conducted counterterrorism exercises that night. Their response was always, we can neither confirm nor deny.
If Will Smith comes looking for me, I'll set Chris Rock on him. Chris Rock owes him a slap.
That's not a legal answer under Freedom of Information rules.
Just drop by
You either
13,
have
they got some of
information
us.
or you don't. It turned out that the South Wales Police never conducted counterterrorism exercises those nights. The chief of police said so. They did have counterterrorism
The police would never lie to the public.
training that past June, but not on February 25th or 26th. Regardless, the public is always informed about these types of operations, but not this time. The hospital lied, then lied about lying. The police lied, then lied about lying. Oh, the journalist who wrote those first cover stories for Wales Online?
Oh.
After 15 years, she quit. Her new job? Communications officer for the Royal Glamorgan Hospital, the same hospital that couldn't keep its story straight. And
Ross Fails subscribed to your channel for 1 month.
Thank you. Was that the Men in Black? Thank you, Men in Black, for telling me that somebody subscribed. That was a Twitch alert, right? They're watching us.
investigators believed someone was trying to tie up loose ends. The excuses kept coming. When asked why troops
Mike, oh. Thank you for the $4.99. The OSI Men in Black control factual info. This is weird. Beato's next merch, tinfoil hats to say beware. Well, Annalise, I've got a job for you.
collected scrap metal at 4:30
That was
a.m.,
Twitch.
the MOD claimed national security. Old washing machines and broken bicycles
Thank you to Dorius Ash. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 6 months. Let's go.
were suddenly classified. Kaz searched the official MOD website
Of all of this stuff I've questioned, I still can't get over Lantris and Common being a dumping ground. That just doesn't ring true to me.
for any record of Exercise Chameleon. Buried in the site, she found a NOTAM. A NOTAM is a notice to airmen that warns commercial and civilian pilots not to enter certain airspace. These notices are required before any exercise involving aircraft to prevent collisions. They have to be filed at least 5 days before the exercise. This NOTAM was filed at 9 p.m. on February 25th, 9 hours before the pyramid appeared.
Ooh, to quote one analyst, suspicious. GBRCEFC125, thank you for the 2 months of early access. Sandra Shaw, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Right, the hospital told to keep quiet. It just gets weird, right? And somebody in the chat earlier.
Hello, motherfucker.
Guys, stop using Twitch alerts. I'll be live on Twitch in an hour. Let's throw me out of my groove now. I've lost my trail of thought. Hello, motherfucker.
Worse,
Hey, Smith, how you doing?
Aircraft flew 50 miles outside the NOTAM boundary. You never leave your airspace during exercises. That's how mid-air collisions happen, unless you're chasing something that isn't following your flight plan. The smoking gun came from the Air Commission Secretariat, the MOD's highest authority. He wrote, "I can confirm that no information in the scope of your request is held. There were no programmed air defense exercises in South Wales in February 2016. No exercise, no permission, no warning. Everything that happened that night was illegal."
So there's proof that these aircraft were flying, but they are denying the aircraft were flying. Fucking aliens are real. I swear to God. We're all going to have our minds wiped. It's Beardo's fault. Absolutely.
Kaz Clark had just declared war on the Ministry of Defense, and the MOD would fight back.
Ooh. I know what... Guys, stop with the Twitch stuff, please.
The Pentyrch UFO incident is one of the most compelling I've ever covered. Multiple witnesses, government documents, photographs. But is it true? Well, let's start with what we know. Kaz Clark spent 8 years gathering evidence and fighting the Ministry of Defense, and they fought back.
If that's the area where nothing grows back... I mean, she's wearing a big thick coat, right? So this could be the winter. And that's why all these trees are brown. But that grass is looking very green. That, not so much. She's pointing at something in this area, like, oh, it was up there. That is looking pretty green to me, right?
Kaz was threatened, followed. Military personnel have been seen at her presentations. Just 2 days after the event, she was nearly run off the road by a black SUV.
Looking at the sun looks different in winter. Is that hair white? No, apparently it went back to a natural colour. Yorkie.
But Kaz never gave up, and eventually the MOD had to issue a statement. They claimed this was all part of their scheduled training, Operation Chameleon. But Operation Chameleon actually took place a week earlier in northern England, not Wales. She proved they lied. She proved 20 helicopters, 4 transport planes, and ground troops operated illegally over civilian areas. But what about the Black Pyramid and the red and green barrels? Can they be explained?
No.
Maybe.
Crap.
The pyramid could have been a misidentified aircraft. C-17s
Well, the size of a skyscraper.
flying in formation might create a triangular shape.
Got you.
And modern stealth tech can make aircraft pretty quiet. The red and green objects could have been drop zone markers.
I said that. Sorry, I get excited when smart people say something that I said.
The lights paratroopers used during night jumps. Or they could have been flares. From the ground, multiple lights descending slowly might look like the edges of something massive. Except Kaz was right below the drop zone. She saw no parachutes, no soldiers, just objects that moved horizontally, changed direction instantly, and studied her from 30 feet away. Paratroopers can't do that.
Yeah, I bet the 82nd Airborne can.
They can't.
82, saw the way.
Then
Oh,
there's
fish is
Kaz's
great.
lost time. High-stress situations mess with your memory. You ever fall or drop something and it feels like it's happening in slow motion? When your adrenaline spikes, your brain doesn't process time normally. Everything slows down to give you time to react. Now, Apache helicopters carry powerful radar and jamming equipment. That might explain why phones didn't work.
Yeah, these explanations are
That'd explain why a phone didn't work, but would that interrupt filming the camera? I wish I knew more about it. I really do. You know what you're saying about the fish? Every now and again, do you know, like in a fish tank, you get like the diver in a bowl and bubbles come out of it like on a timer? That UFO has been doing it. He has done this so well. This is brilliant.
pretty thin, boyo.
I admit that they
There you go.
are. I'm just telling you what the skeptics say. But this is a hard one to debunk. Witnesses said the pyramid didn't descend from the sky. It emerged through space. That technology doesn't exist. The MOD claimed the explosions were controlled detonations of simulated munitions. But simulated munitions don't register on seismographs 40 miles away. And you know how they closed the roads because of a truck crash? We can't prove that because all the CCTV was turned off that night.
Wait, all the CCTV on the M4 was turned off? Can you smell that, chat? That's Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones turning up to my front door.
Oh, that happens in certain jail cells from time to time.
Easy with that. The debris field was confirmed by multiple witnesses.
Actual
Cass's hair
location of
really
the dead
did turn
zone.
white overnight. Doctors couldn't explain it. But exposure to radiation does explain it. And Kaz has shown all the symptoms of radiation sickness. And you know how they discovered the radiation and that strange signal Kaz was emitting? During one of the 3 lie detector tests, she passed. Almost 2 years after the event, the radiation level at the site was still harmful to humans.
So the radiation at the site where she was, 9 miles away, was still dangerous to humans years later. Mrs. Geek, we're gonna need more foil. She's in work. I'm shouting to no one.
It took 5 years for the area to clear. Surveillance planes circled for 3 days. Fact. The NOTAM appeared 9 hours before, not the required 5 days. Fact. $4.5 billion in military assets was deployed that night.
Fuck
Fact.
me.
Snake 48, a plane that officially doesn't exist, was flying search patterns. Fact. Were they waiting for a UFO? We don't know.
Does anyone have a Geiger counter I can borrow, please?
Mainstream skeptical view is that the Pentyrch UFO incident was a military operation. To me, this isn't really a story about the UFO. It's about the cover-up. The UK government, the Welsh government, the South Wales police, the hospital, dozens, maybe hundreds of people lied to the public. If there was a UFO encounter, I think the people of Pentyrch deserve to know. Because if this was just a military exercise, then countless laws were broken that terrified local residents and put them in real danger. So I have one question for the Ministry of Defense, the Welsh government, and the South Wales police.
One question. Dude, bro. I got fucking millions of questions. Millions.
Just one. My question isn't, was there a UFO? My question is, why aren't any of you in jail?
Ooh, stinger. If there's a fatality on the motorway, a bad accident, even if the cameras are turned off, they go blank on the Traffic Wales website. They only still use pics on their mind. Right. So this could be that there was a car. Maybe the lorry driver looked up like, holy shit, aliens smash. We need a new Dude Bro t-shirt. Dude Bro, aliens! I'm losing the plot.
Thanks to today's sponsor, Fishing Clash. Click the link.
Beard away the game, what they call in facts. I don't know. I don't know. This is why I've got to look into it.
Link below and use code WF to get rewards.
No, I don't.
Thank you so much for hanging out today. My name is AJ.
God damn it! It's ended. Right, chat, please go on over to the Y-Files. That was incredibly enjoyable. 4.95 million subscribers. I'm sure he will be happy that I've sent a handful of viewers across. That was epic. We should do a video about the latest mystery Epstein. Kaz is one of my best mates. I'm so glad you brought attention to this. His hair has gone completely white since this incident. She had dark. She could have dyed it. She could have dyed it. No clip. No. I know Kaz very well. She's an awesome woman, and what a case. She will be pleased you covered this. Thanks, AJ and Hecklefish. I remember this. There were lots of damage to the woods back at the back, broken and burnt trees. I remember seeing the planes crossing over for hours and hours. I never met Kaz, but my mum knows her. Only really say hello. I moved to Wales 6 years ago. How do you know Kaz if you... Right, never mind. I always remember that night. This event took place 9 years ago when you lived in Lincolnshire. Debunking comments. Debunking comments. Ah, no, they don't cite the sources. Ah. UFOs are real. I see supernatural orbs every time I take off my pat. I can always rely on chat. Always rely on chat. Not buying any of it. Yeah, Smith. You just shoo away everything. Can we not agree that something about that is interesting? Whether it's a cover-up for a failed military exercise where a plane has crashed, a failed test of some sort, a downed UFO. I don't know. But like I said at the beginning, I'm not sitting here saying that it is 100% a UFO. I can't say that.
How's it going? It's Mythos.
Sorry, I've just seen Mythos put a video up, and we are going to send everyone over to Mythos in about 20 minutes. But it's so interesting, right? Like, this started just because Paranormal Scholar, one of her videos started autoplaying. 10 minutes later, I was like, this is really interesting. Turn it off, go back to it. And then I started reading all these reports, and I'm like, what the fuck? Beardo is go... Look what the video's done to me. My hair's gone white. Holy shit. Check out the Craig Charles documentary on it as well. It's the UFO section of Discord. I appreciate that, Lee. I really do. Beardo is excited again. Do you know what? Rich Deathstalker, you have absolutely hit the nail on the head there. Do you know, I've been complaining for ages. I'm finding it hard to get excited about the paranormal, and I just keep like rolling my eyes and deleting videos, and this is crap, this is crap, this is crap. That, I don't know if it's going to be UFOs in general, but that particular story has got me hook, line and sinker. Why did the police lie? Why did the government lie? I mean, the Welsh Assembly isn't really a government. It's more of a... Let's pretend Wales have got their own government when England runs everything. But the police lied. The hospital lied. And there's proof of those lies. Can you do a series on all the Welsh UFO events? Elaine, I think the fact that this... Not only is it Welsh, but it's so close to... Not close to where I am now, but to where I grew up. I mean, there's a at the end of Smilog Woods, there's an old coal tip. And for years, from my uncle's age to my age when we were teenagers, we made jumps and ramps out of coal for motocross bikes. And we all rode around that for years. I know that area so well. And it piqued my interest because I know the area. I don't know Pentyrch that well because, by all accounts, it's a bit of a shithole. But everything else, I know those areas. I could literally walk. It'd take me ages, but I could walk those areas and know exactly where I am at all times. The last podcast on the left is a great deep dive into UFO stuff. So, my plan is next Tuesday we will look into the Paranormal Scholars video on the same subject, if you guys want to. We look at that because I know she actually interviews Kaz, and I know she's got photos from the night. But behind the scenes, I'm going to be working with CRL. CRL, you're going to be very busy, I'm afraid, because I don't know what I'm fucking doing with this. Like, the journalistic side of it. Can you have a dude, bro? Yes, you can.
Dude, bro! Dude! Bro! Demons! Demons, bro! Murders! We've caught a ghost!
How many UFO sightings have there been documented? I mean, the big one is Broadhaven in It's not Broadhaven, that's a TV show. In Tembe, there was a massive one there, the Shanalary on BBC. You can watch it now. If you go onto BBC iPlayer and look up the Paranormal with Shanalary, look for the Welsh UFO season, and you'll be blown away with that. But she debunks a lot, but there's still unanswered questions. And more UFOlogy than the ghost bollocks. I like the way the channel is going in a new direction. The channel itself's not going in a new direction. But I'll always be a paranormal guy. Technically, UFOs fall into the paranormal, but I'll never stop being an investigator, a paranormal investigator. I don't think the channel's changing. I'm just adding more to it. You and Fahab need to camp that area. Absolutely. It's just something else. But this still falls within that wheelhouse where I don't have to put it on the second channel. So, I don't know. The reacting with you guys on a live stream on a Tuesday is different. You know, it's not debunking. I'm not shit talking. It's something a little different for us because I don't know if it feels the same to you guys, but doing the Tuesday and the Sunday live, the exact same that we have for 2 years now, is it not a bit stagnant? So adding in reacting to stuff that I know nothing about, that I can't really debunk, I can only give opinions and then decide if it's something worth investigating further, like this case. Hey Kazza, how you doing? You're just turning into Ben. I mean, I've got a better hairline for a start. Just saying. But the second channel is... that's me scratching an itch to do something away from the paranormal. For fuck's sake, will you ban me? Jet, happy birthday, you're banned. So, I mean, it appears that it's been a bit of a success on the channel. Well, I don't know what the viewing figures were. I never know what they are. I'll have a look now. What are we? We got 552 people watching, and we've done something different. So we've jumped up 150 viewers doing something different. So we'll do this case for a while because there's a few videos, a few documentaries and stuff. I'll only be doing this. I'll only react to stuff that is safe copyright-wise on the lives because you know we've been taken down live before. But even if we go back to some paranormal stuff, not YouTube channels, but paranormal stories that once we're done with the UFO stuff, you know, just a Tuesday, do reactions and discussions, and then we can take that into some form of ongoing project. And then the Sundays be like button mashing, everyone insulting me for 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I'm far too lazy to stream for 2.5 hours. Even though at 9:30, I'll be going back live over on Twitch playing some Warzone. If that is your thing. I actually want to do my own research now. It's fascinating. And it is. It absolutely is. And because it's so different and so close to home, this is the first thing that has excited me to get my teeth into in months. Absolute months. What was the last thing that really excited me? I think it was my own investigation where I heard somebody tell me to shush in a care home. Neglect my household chores for Tuesday lives, doesn't matter what you do, Beardo. Listen, I appreciate that some of you guys will be here no matter what I do. But I think change is good. Sundays stay the same. Tuesdays we do the reactions and see if we can find things. Maybe we'll put a section in Discord that once we've done with one project, you guys can suggest the next. He's missing my messages. Yeah, because I'll be speaking to you in half an hour. Beardo talks a lot about his alien brothers. What? The answer should be Mrs. Geek. Hey. You know she excites me. Boom, chicken, wow, wow. Christine Bissett, thank you for the 13 months. Love this live, Beardo, really interesting. Do you know what? Let me turn this off for a minute because it's cooling and it's noisy. Candlegate. Yeah, Candlegate didn't excite me quite like this. I've loved this one, thank you. I'm told that many incidents in Wales have happened and there will always be huge cover-ups. It makes a great change to the paranormal, but I'll always love both. I mean, technically, this could still be paranormal. It's looking more and more like the military fucked up. And then tried to bury it. And it hasn't worked. Will it be UFOs every week? Jennifer, not necessarily. I think for the next couple, it'll be this Pentyrch UFO incident because there is so much for us to look at through it, and then I want to end the entire thing with the proper video where I've done research and I'll get help from the mods, help from some friends. I'll try to get some sort of long form video out of it, and then I think we may do the Tembe UFO thing, because that's interesting. The only thing stopped me wanting to cover that is Shana Leary's recently covered it on mainstream TV, so has it been done to death? Mystic, thank you for the £5. Beardo, love your ideas for the channel. It sounds like a natural evolution for the channel. It's something else to add to the channel. Can you do Area 51 See, that's so many years of... so many lunatics. You could do a cult, for example. There's a lovely young lady, part of the community, that has been talking to me about cults, and she has a lot of information that I can use in cults. I'm just worried about how I would tackle cults. Because I don't know how to put it. Cults freak me out. Really freak me out, like the control they have over people and stuff. And I worry about being insensitive because some of these people go through horrific ordeals at the hands of these cults, and I worry about coming across insensitive because I piss people off about ghosts, you know. Hey Crow Judas, how you doing? Flurio's doing a good dive on cults at the moment. Yeah, I've been watching Flurio's stuff on cults. I would enjoy your take on military and cults fuck-ups. Crowley is an interesting figure to look at, Beardo. A lot. Yeah, I know a little bit about Crowley. For example, the house that all the ghost hunters have been going to and investigating and seeing as Crowley's house. He's never even fucking been there. Never been there. Cults are a niche topic. They are, and... thank you very, very much, Mystic, for the £2. Rendell's from Forest is a UFO military-based corker. I've listened to podcasts about that. I have. There's a lot of that has been debunked, though, right? In my very humble opinion, I think you should go with your gut with your content. If there are questions to be asked, then I'll be here to watch. I appreciate that, Jana. Hey, appreciate the Grim Reaper. Fucking beautiful shirt. Flower. And pineapples. Big Max Golf, not a problem at all. Look forward in what more you can possibly find out about this. The thing is, I know people that know... Sean and Jess that was in the chat earlier, I have known those guys for decades now. Me and Sean were in a band years and years ago. And Jess knows this lady, so hopefully that's a window in so I can get to speak to Kaz. I'm just a bit worried that if I say yeah and Beardo gets scared and they look up the channel, they'll be like, don't bring him here, he's a dick. Kaza, thank you for the 23 months. 2 years gone so fast. It has, Kaza, it really has. Thank you for 2 years. Flurry does cult videos, been watching, call me Chris, true crime as well. She covers cult. Luna Moon, are we talking about the same Call Me Chris that I've seen ghost hunting with Sam and Colby? Is it worth watching? Because as a ghost hunter, she's terrible. Do a deep dive on Scientology. Oh, I will never do... Scientology to me is a cult. I don't know if I could do religious cults. Hey, appreciate it, Dean. Yeah, I definitely, because what I don't want to do is go into Smilog Forest on my own. I know how steep those bankings are, how much debris there is. That's the type of place where you can twist an ankle or break a leg very, very easily. Are you thinking of Bolskin House near Inverness for Crowley? I can't remember the name off the top of my head, Granny Dumpling, but a lot of people have been going there, and he's... No, is it in Devon? It's one or the other. There's one in Scotland, there's one in Devon, and one or the other is bullshit. You'd never been there. I can't remember which one it is. Is it in Scotland? I can't remember which one is which. What is this? Me looks at Pentrych UFO incident. Cryptic Tundra. By all means, look it up. We just watched the Y-Files episode on it. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Check that out. Then check out the Paranormal Scholar. I only watched a little bit of that earlier on today, which got me into this. And then start reading, because it is... It's wild. Absolutely wild. Angry Bear, good afternoon or good evening. Welcome in for your first time here. Unfortunately, you've caught me in the last couple of seconds before we send everyone over to Mythos, but I appreciate you coming in. Bullskin Lodge overlooks Loch Ness. Oh. He was definitely at Bullskin. Right, so he was at... Right, it's the one in Devon that... Brewing Demons and them lot I've been to, and yeah, it's not, he's never been there. There's no proof that he's ever been there, and I've seen interviews with people saying he's never been there, nothing to do with the building. The one in Devon is CAC. Yeah, right, so at the top I've pinned a link to, it's the Devon house. It's a load of bullshit. Thanks for clearing that up. My brain's I was sort of so in on the Pentyrch stuff and so in on the chat that my brain feels fried. Oh, guys, also, Don't Scare Claire as well. I've pinned a link to Mythos there, but Don't Scare Claire does also have a premiere tonight, I believe. Haunted London Underground. So I'll paste that. So if you want to copy and paste Mythos' link, because it's a pre-recorded video that's already out, and then if you want to attend a premiere, Don't Scare Claire's is premiering now. So if you want to go over and watch a premiere, hit the link to Don't Scare Claire that's in the chat there. And if you want to go and watch Mythos' pre-recorded that's not a premiere, it's the link at the top. This is Don't Scare Claire. I'm glad you said something and reminded me. I'm very sorry. Mystic, thank you for the £5. Crowley lived in the New Forest in Hampshire too, down the south coast of England, but 30 miles from where I am. Thank you for the £5. Yeah, he didn't go to that house, though. He certainly didn't own it, like people are saying. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for making one of my crazy ideas that I came up with this afternoon while watching YouTube. Like, I want to do that! And you've made it epic tonight. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for all the new members. Thank you for all the gifted members. Thank you for the donations. Thank you, everybody, for sitting, watching, enjoying. The chat was busy. That stream went so fast. I really, really appreciate you guys. Please check out Don't Scare Claire. Check out Mythos. Much love to you all. Beardo out.
When you feel like cutting down, the Beardo guns around the leader. Can I get a roll? Dressed up like a T-Rex with that perfect strut. All the people in the chat's just going nuts. You need a ride. Can I get a ride? If you're not feeling well, it's a nice surprise to get her off a bit to memories live. With the tiny little arms and the flowing tail. If you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself. Can I get a ride? Ride. You can get a ride. The object of the day to put a smile on your face. All the fans know how much he appreciates. Ride. You can get a ride. If you're just feeling like crap, all you have to do is ask. Beardo's got your back, and just like that, you get a raw. Can I get a raw? You can get a raw. With those tiny little arms and the flowing tail. If you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself. Can I get a raw?
You know the score. Go and watch Don't Scare Claire. Go and watch Mythos. Or at 9:30, twitch.tv/BeardedGeekLive, and I'll be there. Bye. 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 I was going to come up with a shit joke, but